What's up, guys? Welcome to another one. Hope all is well. I'm sure you already heard that Shiloh Sanders was fined by the NFL for his slap in his last NFL game. I want to talk about that and provide my perspective on it. And also, Coach Prime knows that when you're losing, somebody always has something to say about a loss. We're going to get into what Sharpe had to say. He had to say a lot. So we're going to get into that. And it's always when you're doing good, people give you nothing but praise in football. But when you're losing, people always have something to say. And so we're going to talk about that as well. We're also going to talk a little bit more about the Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, and Andrew Berry attending the Texas game against Ohio State, even though Texas lost that game. We're going to go in a little bit further because one sports analyst had something to say about it. He said it's a little bit deeper than what we think it is for why they're showing up and their connection with the Manning family, their connection with Coach Saban. They used to coach for the legendary coach that coached for Alabama. Alabama lost today, by the way, and that was crazy. That was a big one. And by the way, the quarterback from Florida State is also the quarterback his quarterback coach was Shador and them, Select QBs, Daryl from Select QBs. He also coached him as well, man. So Daryl is seeing a lot of success with his quarterbacks. We're also going to look at further Colorado schedule to see what's going on with that. So let's get into it, guys. All right, so where should we start first? I guess we're going to start with Shiloh Sanders. So it says here, the NFL has fined Shiloh Sanders $4,669 for throwing a punch in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers preseason finale against the Buffalo Bills on August 23rd, 2025. An action that led to his ejection from the game. Following the incident, the Buccaneers released him the next day, as we know, making him a free agent. Head coach Todd Bowles publicly called the act inexcusable, emphasizing that such behavior can't happen in this league. I have something to say about that, and I'm going to come back to that. Compounding the situation, Sanders earned only $1,572 in guaranteed money from his team contract, far less than the fine he now owes. This means the fine actually exceeds his total earnings from the Buccaneers. Since he remains unsigned by any team, it's unclear when or if the fine will be deducted, as it typically comes out of a player's paycheck upon future employment. NFL opportunities analysts like Shannon, Sharpe, and Chad Ochocinco Johnson are optimistic that Sanders could find a home. Even Antonio Brown is starting to troll again. He reignited his long-standing, I don't know if it's a long-standing feud. I don't know why they're saying that with Coach Prime by mocking Shiloh's release, saying it underscores the Sanders sons can't survive in the NFL. Former NFL player Ashanti Samuel, who has a podcast on YouTube, by the way, I'll be listening, responded sharply to Brown's remarks, urging empathy and criticizing the tone-deaf nature of the comments. Coach Prime, in an Instagram statement, backed his son's future optimism. Okay, so let me go back to the fine. It's typical that people get fined for incidents. It is. I'm not surprised that he got fined. I mean, I know a lot of people say, "Come on, man, you're gonna fine him." It's, he's out of the league, and that you're gonna fine him. It happens. People do get fined for tussling in the NFL. Now, I'm going to say this. I watched football starting back in the 80s when I was a kid. Things like that went on and nobody got fined, really. Only time when people got fined, unless it was really bad. Today is like a soft league. I must say it's soft. It's a soft league. And for me, because I watched football back then, I don't think what Shiloh did should get fined. I don't. Because I also think the other player should get fined as well. I don't hear any news about that other player getting fined. I'm going to say that other player. I don't want to say his name. for me, it's nonsense. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's really nonsense. I know you're listening. You think it's nonsense as well. It's just straight up nonsense. I'm being honest with you. I mean, come on. It goes back to, let me just go back for a second. So he give him a love tap, and Bowles. I know we were saying early on that Shiloh's in a good opportunity. He's in a good situation in Tampa Bay with Coach Bowles. Apparently, he wasn't. And at this point, we could hear news at any day now that he has signed on the practice squad on the team, but as of yet, I have not heard anything. And I think it's I don't know. I don't know. If you ask me, I think he's a really good safety. Some people say that his age has something to do with it. Well, it don't have nothing to do with Dylan Gabriel's age. Dylan Gabriel's up there too. He's been in college for 6 years. That ain't have nothing to do with it. Like I said, if you ask me, I think he's a really, really good safety. He always making plays. He made some big plays at Colorado. He made big plays throughout his career. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, am I being biased here when I think that? What do you drop a comment below? Let me know how you feel about it. I know a lot of people that's going to comment on this video have a lot of support for Shiloh. So, I mean, we're all in agreement that he's a really good safety. That's just my opinion on it. I don't see at least signed to a practice squad. I mean, come on, man. I have known people in the past that I ain't going to get into that. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, but the fine though is ridiculous. It just goes to show this league is a little soft, man. But I mean, some of you have watched the game back in the 60s and 70s, and you could tell me how hard it was back then. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. I think it's just ridiculous, man. To be honest with you, man, it's for me. It's just ridiculous. I'm being real with you, man. Now we're gonna get to the Cleveland Browns owner, and then we're gonna get into Colorado and what Shannon Sharpe had to say. Because Shannon, you know how he is, very opinionated. And but anyway, the Cleveland Browns owner, as I said early in the video, Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry were both spotted on the sidelines during the Texas-Ohio State season opener, where Texas quarterback Arch Manning started. Their attendance sparked immediate buzz that they were scouting Manning in person. Fans on social media quickly latched onto the scene, with many suggesting it was about Manning, and not just him, but also Texas teammate Jeremiah Smith. Reactions ranged from hopeful to snarky. Arch Manning and Jeremiah Smith, too talented for AB. There's a zero chance Arch Manning steps foot in Cleveland. This was some of the people were saying. Now, I don't think, I mean, if he's smart, he wouldn't want to go to Cleveland. I mean, if they're in running for him, I would say he stayed at his senior year. I don't think he should go to Cleveland. I mean, I don't think after what they have done, I don't wish no quarterback to go to Cleveland. But shout out to Deshaun, though, because he got his money. So early this year, Browns co-owner Jimmy Haslam publicly dismissed speculation that they were positioning to draft Arch Manning in 2026. He emphasized that Manning family would likely want him to play 2 more years at Texas, and that there was no active plan to pursue him in the upcoming draft. Now, voices like Colin Cowherd suggested a deeper undercurrent. This is which I want to talk about, give my opinion. In recent commentary, he speculated that the Browns' struggle this season could find themselves with high enough draft slot to consider Manning, especially if legendary coach Nick Saban, who has ties to both the Browns organization and the Manning family, were brought in for a dramatic quarterback restructuring. Cowherd called it a poorly kept secret. So, yes, Jimmy Haslam was in attendance. And yeah, he was in attendance, and people are talking about it. Like, more than likely, they're probably going to try to pursue Arch Manning. Arch didn't do nothing this game, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. He stunk up the joint. I mean, I'm not trying to diss the kid, but yeah, man. If I'm just gonna say this. Nah, I don't got nothing against Arch Manning, so I'm not gonna say it. But Sometimes you have good games, you have bad games. It just so happened when he played Ohio State on a big platform, he didn't do well. He didn't do well now. But that doesn't mean that he's not going to bounce back in the next game. More than likely he will, I guess. But yeah, they clowning him on social media right now. So, hey, if that's the quarterback they're going after, so be it. I had said before, this is a good thing for Dylan Gabriel and Shador, because this might open them up to go somewhere else. We know Deshaun Watson, he signed a lot of money. Regardless, Deshaun is good because he has a certain portion of his contract is guaranteed. Deshaun, so Deshaun ain't worried. A lot of his stuff is guaranteed. So if they let him go, they're gonna have to pay him, unless they're gonna keep him there and have Arch back him up. But I don't know if Arch go there. Or they could be planning. I heard that they're planning to hire Coach Saban to come there as the head coach along with Arch Manning. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see for the next year's draft. But right now we got a season going on. And with that being said, I'm looking at the schedule here. Look, everybody is saying something about the loss against Georgia Tech. I'm going to say something again against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, I don't know if anybody in the country can stop that run when that kid decide he want to run. Talking about the Georgia Tech quarterback. I don't think nobody can stop him. And there's a lot of bright spots, again, on this team. There's a lot of bright spots on this team. I believe the wide receivers need to get a little bit more touches, have a more balanced attack. And it's going to go down. They have a running game. The offensive line has improved from last year. But the next game is Delaware on September 6th at Folsom Field. It's a home game. I think they're going to run all over Delaware, man. That's what I think. They're going to run all over Delaware. And what say you? I think so. And yeah, this is going to be some teams down the line that is going to be very challenging, but they could pull it out. We're just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be a little long season. We're going to wait and see what's going to happen. But right now, the next game is the Delaware game. That's September 6th at 1:30 p.m. and it's at Boulder. So I think they got a bye week October 18th. And Arizona should be a nice competitive game. Arizona State as well. Kansas State, Houston. This is a doable schedule here, man. It's a nice competitive schedule, but it's a doable schedule. And like I said, man, me personally, I'm not a coach or anything like that. Some people saying that they let some timeouts and stuff like that. Listen, that's just a lot of that they can improve on. I mean, nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect, man. But they have a lot to improve on, and they will improve on it. If they improve on it, man, it's going to be that much better moving forward for the rest of the season. Only first game of the season. The only first game of the season. Got a whole season to go right here. Although last year the season went by quickly. That's what I think. But I like the bright spots. Caden Salter, I think he makes some adjustments. He'll be fine. They also have another quarterback. They could use both quarterbacks if needed. They have that luxury. Let's see what Shannon Sharpe talking about.
27-20, the first game without Shiloh Sanders and the receiver, Travis Hunter. So Colorado is under new era now. Hey, Caden Salter, I think that's his name. 17-28, 159, one touchdown. They ran the ball really well, 31 for $146, but it was Georgia Tech, 47 rushes, 327 yards. Ocho, I was disgusted watching this game. I say, what about gap integrity? What about...
He said, I was disgusted watching this game here, Ocho. I was disgusted. What about the gap integrity? Well, what's going on with that? Gap integrity. They could prove on the gap integrity.
Contain. Georgia Tech has run the football since I was a kid. They ran the damn football. When they had Demarius Thomas, they ran the football. Georgia Tech runs the football. It's like if you play the Naval Academy or Army. You know they're going to run the football, Ocho. I'm like, Livingston, are you going to make any adjustment? Guys, what is your responsibility? What about your gap integrity? What about your contained responsibility? I'm like, this is utterly ridiculous. And quarterback, Salter, bro, you missed entirely too many throws. He missed entirely too many throws, Ojo. And number 20 got a nice set of hands on him, the running back. Bro, he's wide open, and I hate when quarterbacks do this, Ojo. When you miss a throw, you go to the running back or you go to the wide receiver. I want you. No, bro, I was right there. Put it on me. All you had to do is hit me right here.
Yeah, that's a thing. You know, when quarterbacks do that. Listen, he was wide open, and he had a shot at him. He missed the pass. That's what happened. It wasn't like I want you right here. No, I'm right. Sometime I'm not going to be right there. Here's my hands. I got big catcher's mitts. Here are my hands. I'm right here. I might not be 20 yards where you want me to be. I might not be over here. I'm right here. Okay. Somebody had made a comment on a live chat after the game. We went live. He said we missed Shador's accuracy. Shador would have made that pass. I know, but we don't have Shador right now. I mean, not even right now. Shador's off in the NFL. We have Caden Salter. And I don't like that when quarterbacks do that either. Like, I'm right here. And Caden Salter was very vocal on that sideline when he was talking to Rashad at one point. He was sitting on the sidelines. He was very vocal. Listen, I suspect, guys, this is what I suspect. I suspect that they're going with Lewis the next game. That's what I suspect. Or he's going to get some playing time for sure. For sure. For sure. And somebody said that Coach Prime went up to him and said, if you him, let me see it. I don't know if he said that, but damn, man, could you imagine the coach say that? If you him, let me see it. If you him, let me see that. That's motivation. Like, I'm him. I'm really him. You have to think you really him in anything that you do. You have to. Now, I never played quarterback position. A quarterback is a very hard position. Let me just say it. So I can't talk. But, you know, it's very hard position, and he's on a really big platform. The cameras are all around him, and not everybody can handle it. Juju is very quiet. He's like a quiet riot, man. But I do suspect, guys, that we are going to see Juju at some point. We are. I'm surprised we didn't see him in this game. But at some point, we are going to see him. For sure. We're going to see him, and I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't want to say this, but if we do see him, he's not relinquishing that starting role. What say you guys? Drop a comment below. I mean, I did see, like I said, nobody's perfect. You know, I'm not trying to nitpick or anything, but when he was on the sidelines, he was very vocal to Rashad sitting there. Like he was blaming somebody. I don't know if he was blaming anybody. I don't know. But perception is everything. You got to stay cool. See, Coach Prime, we used to Shador being cool under pressure. That's what we used to. We don't used to, you know, that's what we're used to. But we can't get used to that no more. Shador is not here anymore. Shador is in Cleveland. So we got to move on from the accuracy of Shador. But what else look, I'm like this. What else do y'all got in the pocket over there? What can Juju do? You know what I'm saying? What can Juju do? But Shannon got on him, man. He said, I hate when quarterbacks do that.
Don't talk about
That's it.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You effed it up. And he had the guy on 3rd and 10. He missed entirely too many throws. But their defense let him down tonight. You can't let somebody come into your building and run the ball 47 times for 320 yards. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Before you go, let me see what.
Yes, sir.
If I want to see.
It's so funny how he's looking up the stats. And I mean, also that could be improved as well. The run stop, it has to be improved. And that's up to the defensive coordinator to get that straight. And but like I said again, man, hey man, go look at what they did against Georgia last year, man. He did the same thing. It's like this kid can run at will. You know what I'm saying? Before I go back to Shannon for a second, let me tell you this. Michael Vick, when he was playing at Georgia Tech, I remember that. He was giving defenses the same problem. Michael Vick, you couldn't stop him. He could run at will. It's not that the defense isn't good. He's just that damn great. So I'm just want to say this real quick. Could it be that quarterback is just that damn good? Could it be? I mean, yeah, he was running at will, folks. He was running at will, and he do it all the time. Somebody told me, and you know the crazy thing is, shout out to whoever said this to me. If you said this to me, drop a comment below to let me know you were the person that said this. Like, Max, you need to go research that quarterback. Somebody told me that. He said, yo, you need to research him. You need to see what he did against Georgia. He took him like 3 overtimes. And then the person further said to me that this kid can run. Not just run, he can scramble at will. So shout out to the person that told me that. My question to you guys is right now, is he just that good? He could be just that good. He could be just that good, man. This kid might be just that great, that for real. For real. Let's see what Shannon talking about, man.
A team give you 3 turnovers at home in the first quarter, and you want to score 7 points, you telling that team, beat me, kick our ass.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have a bear. Mm-hmm. They didn't, and they got what they deserved. Go ahead, Ocho. I'll find it in a second. Go ahead.
I say, listen, what I was going to say is, obviously, we all want to see what Colorado would look like without Shiloh Sanders, without Travis Hunter, and they didn't look that bad. First game of the season, you want to get the kinks out, you want to see what areas you need to improve in. Obviously, we see defensively, Colorado has to be able to stop the run, because now it's out there on tape. What do we do when we play against the Colorado Buffaloes that have success? We run the ball.
That was the issue last year, though, Ocho. Damn.
That was the issue last year. Obviously,
he said that was the issue last year. Ocho, damn. That was the issue last year. Okay, running. So, yes, I had said that in a live chat. If I was an opposing team, my job is to run the hell out of that ball. However, they can improve, though, and stop the run. They can improve. I mean, it could be a good team, but good teams falter. Look what happened to Arch Manning and his team today. Okay, you didn't expect them to lose. Well, actually, I did. I mean, that's Ohio State. They coming off a national championship. But look at what Florida State did today against Alabama. Okay, so it can happen any given Saturday. Like football is any given Sunday. Remember that movie? Any given Sunday, any given Saturday, anything can happen. Anybody can get knocked off. That's why I don't like gambling on these games. Because at any time, any given Saturday or any given Friday, in this case, it was any given Friday, anything can happen. So things happen. It wasn't a catastrophic anomaly, though. This wasn't. They were only, I mean, come on, man. They only lost by 1 touchdown. They didn't get their butts kicked. I have to, that's where me and Shannon, I know Shannon's going off, but they did not get their, well, they got their butt kicked in the run game, though. They did. But the score doesn't reflect it. This, you know, some might say, well, Max, the score doesn't tell the whole story. They got their butt kicked in the run game, but they only lost by 1 touchdown. I could see if Georgia Tech ran the score up and it was like 40-7. That I could say, well, they might have a serious issue here. No, there was some good moments on defense. There were. I mean, if you watch the game, there was some good things on defense that they did right. They did a lot of stuff right on defense. And like I said, they only lost by 1 touchdown. It was lost by 7 points, or a touchdown, a field goal, extra point. Touchdown. I mean, lost by a touchdown. But I want to say that. That's what I want to stress. They only lost by 1 point. Come on, man. Like, give them that. Just 1 point, man. I mean, one score. So, I mean, the way they were running, I mean, they could have, I mean, if the score was like 52-7, then I was like, well, they might, I don't know what this season really going to look like. I really don't know, because they weren't operating on no cylinders. But they were, though. The defense had some bright spots. They did get to the quarterback, get a sack. They did hurry up the quarterback. They did touch him. They did pick up 2 fumble recoveries, the same player on the Colorado. That was a positive. One of the positives were, there's a lot of positives in the game. So for me, like, I'm like with Coach Prime. Like, Coach Prime know about more than this than I do. He said, look, we ain't get a gasket. We only lost by a touchdown. So Coach Prime has that mindset. Like, look, we come back. That's what practice for. They practice today. That's what practice is for. They'll work out the kinks in practice. They already got a game under their belt. They'll work it out. They gonna work it out. Brothers gonna work it out. Remember that old song in the 70s? Bro, they gonna work it out. That's pretty much it. That's how I see it. For real. I'm like what Ocho is saying. He's a little bit more, you know.
The text show that's an area that hasn't been filled, so that needs to be addressed. Boom. For me, beginning of the game, Georgia Tech tried to hand the game to Colorado. They tried to hand the game to. I'm saying, well, goddamn. In my mind, I'm looking. Boom. After the first turnover, them boy went down and scored, and then it was 2 more turnovers after that. I'm like, well, all right. I don't like the way this is looking because if you got the ball back 2 more times,
3 turnovers in the first quarter from Georgia Tech.
In the first quarter, and you only do something with it one time. I say, you know what? It's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to the end. It's gonna come down to the end because offensively, they're not doing enough. Nope. They're not doing enough offensively to put me at ease and to put to make me calm. Because for one, the first turnover, it was all the way in your territory, so of course it was easy to go down and score. But the other two, it seemed like you really couldn't move the ball.
They didn't.
You really couldn't move the balls. You tried everything you could to establish the run. The run was
they ran for Ocho. They ran. I mean, they ran for 146 yards.
Yeah, but obviously, Uncle wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. You want a happy balance of both. To kind of keep the defense, on their heels or not knowing. It's week
Ocho,
one.
third on the move. That should be able to week one, week no one, week anything. You should be able to throw. Ocho, the throws that he's missing because that's third down. You're off the field.
Right.
You want to stay on the field. I want another crack. Give me 4 more cracks at you. Right. And we saw.
He said, "Give me 4 more cracks at you." Yo, it's Shannon Sharpe the way he said. Give me 4 more cracks at it. That was third down. We off the field. He said he missed the throw. He talking about Caden Salter. If it was up to Shannon Sharpe, they'll go with Juju.
I missed numerous throws. The second time he had an opportunity, Ocho, he could have ran the ball to the end zone instead of throwing it.
Yeah.
Bro,
yeah.
We understand that you have a nice arm. I mean, we saw him launch at 60, 65 yards. But, bro, sometimes you got to understand, okay, this is an opportunity for me to. That was not the time for you to try to try to impress us with your arm. Pick up the first down. And another thing, Ocho, then I'm going to turn it back over to you. I don't know what Coach Prime was thinking. They got the ball back with 1 minute and 7 seconds in the ball game. You got 2 timeouts, and you don't use any. You took those same 2 timeouts you had to start that drive, and you go into the locker room with them. So you throw one pass behind the line of scrimmage, you get tackled, you don't call timeout. You complete another pass on second down, you don't call timeout. And then the quarterback picks up a third down, but he burns 8, 9, 10 seconds on the clock. What the hell are y'all doing?
On the scramble. I'm not.
He talking about on the scramble. Well, like I said, again, that's Shannon Sharpe. But what I'm saying is, don't you have room to improve? You make mistakes to improve, right? That means you can improve next week. Now, if they make the same mistake in week 6, then yeah, I mean, it's a dub. You know what I'm saying? It's but you can improve on your mistakes. You can improve on it. The timeout situation. I don't know who is responsible for calling the timeouts, but hey, man, they can improve on it next time. The coaches can improve. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying there. But I do suspect, though, Juju is going to get some type of situation going on here. We're going to see. He's waiting in the wings, though. I felt his presence. I don't know why, man. Maybe I'm getting over dramatic, man. I felt the kid's presence.
Sure, what was going on in that situation. Obviously, you want to use those timeouts to give yourself as much time as possible. Continue running plays to try to get down in some type of range to throw a Hail Mary pass. I'm not sure what the issue was there. But listen, they got some stuff they need to work on. They have some stuff they need to work on. I'm sure Prime is glad that college football is back. We're out there playing against opponents and not just ourselves, so we can see what areas we need. That's where it's
320.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot too, boy. Oh, that's a whole lot.
Running the football and stopping the run is about will. It's about want to. Because schematically, I can't do anything. Ocho, they wasn't doing anything. He faked the toss, and then they pull a guard, or they pull a double guard or tackle, or they'll pull a guard and they'll pull a running back. That's all they were doing. They weren't doing anything. The pass game, schematically, Ocho, I can scheme people. When I run the football, it wasn't nothing fancy. It was nothing. Yeah. It was our guys kick your guys' ass. That's what we did. That's why football is, for me, mentally the toughest sport. Because you know why, Ocho? You're asking the one man to move another man against his will. Now, I know Colorado, they want to leave that patch of grass, that A gap, that B gap, that C, or contain. I know they didn't want to leave it. Yeah. But Georgia Tech said, you getting your ass up out of here.
He said, "Yo, it's his accent that gave me." He said, "You getting your ass up out of here. That's what you gonna do." He said, "It's about another team beating another team's ass." He said, "That's what it's about. Schematically, everything the same. Schematically, can't do nothing schematically." Yo, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. He said, "You can't do nothing schematically." He said, they weren't doing nothing. They just hitching the ball, doing this. You just it's about will. Coach Prime said that before the game to the team. He said it's going to be who's the most physical. Whoever's the most physical is going to win this game. Coach Prime said that. But see, here's the problem, though. Coach Prime can't get out there and play for him. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Shannon Sharpe off the hook, man. He says, we going to kick your ass. He said, y'all getting up out of here.
You getting up out of here. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, what? Livingston? I know, look, you go back and you watch the film. There's a lot. There's not, you didn't really do a whole lot good. Other than the fact, when they got the lead, I mean, you came down, Gwen got 20, you matched them. But then they go right back down the field. Right back down the field. And they ran the football, Ocho. Do you know what it takes to go 75, 65, 70 yards, and I just run it? I think they threw one pass.
Yeah, on the ground at that. On the ground at that. Hey, listen, you know the difference. You know the difference and what matters when it comes to wins and losses. What you got up there in your front. What you got up there in the trenches. You ain't gotta listen, if you ain't got enough meat and potatoes up there in your front yard, and you got them boys ain't got enough rocks in their back pocket, you're gonna get moved around. You can get pushed around. You understand that. And that's not one of those.
They don't teach gap responsibility, gap integrity. I refuse to believe that. And constantly I see DBs giving up the outside arm and the guy running down the sideline. Constantly I see defensive linemen. I'm like, bro, that is your gap. How you let that man get you up out of there? That is your gap.
And the funny thing about it?
Chad's like, and the funny thing about it, right? They're an interesting combination. But I want to say this, man. You can improve in a game. You can improve the next game. It's always next week. I was always told this, and I'm going to close with this. This is for anybody. This transcends sports. This is in the business, whether you're in the business field, whether you have your own business, whether you're your own content creator trying to make it happen. You got to have the will, and you always live it for another day. If one day is not you're not having a good day, you got another day out of the year to make it better, and you got to believe, and you got to believe that you can improve. It's always improvement. You fall and you must get up. Sometimes you got to fall to know what you got. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to fall to know, like, you know what? I just got to make this improvement. That's all I got to do, and I'm back at it. That's all it is, man. But that's what I wanted to say. I want to end it on that. Drop your comments below. Let me know how you feel. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.